So today on the show, we have multi-award-winning soulful diva, one of the voices of the 90s, one of the voices of timeless voices of R&B for that matter. Soulful, absolute diva, one of the greatest female vocalists of all time, actually. The soundtrack to so many people's heartbreak and makeup songs as well. Today, we welcome to the spotlight ultimate soulful diva, Karyn White.
Wow.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You said a lot there. You said a lot. And that's South Africa. That's why I'm so in love. That's why I'm so in love with you. Yeah, you guys get me. You get me fully.
That's how we start the show, with some serenading. Come on with it.
Oh, yes. They make you feel like $1 million in South Africa. I'm going to say this to the artists out there, I've been all over the world, but it's nothing like that South African love that you get when you get on that soil. Yeah. Man. So anyway, I love you guys.
We love you too. And you've seen it. I mean, the proof of the pudding, right? Because when you were here, every time that you were here, people just showed you crazy love. No matter which city in South Africa you've been to, and you've been to quite a few, everybody just showed you crazy love when you were here, man. A testament, you know what I mean? So how much great music you've released and how much, South African, the South African sort of music lovers have, just lapped up all of the stuff that you've given us over the years. It's been timeless.
Yes.
Speaking of that, I just want to know, so to get straight into it, how old were you when you actually got discovered? We're just going to take it right back to the beginning and then work our way through it, obviously. How old were you when you actually got discovered, and how did you get discovered?
Okay, when I got discovered, I would say professionally, because I started out as a background singer. I don't know if I want to call that the discovery. That was the Karyn White breakout. So I got discovered with I was about, I think maybe 18 years old. Warner Brothers, the amazing boutique label Warner Brothers, who had Prince and Madonna and Shaka and George Benson, and so it was such a Al Jarreau, such a boutique label. I performed on Jeff Lorber, who is a jazz fusion artist. Right. I sang a few songs on his record, and that's how I was able to get discovered and get my own deal, because once they said, if this record, it was called Facts of Love. Right. These are the facts of love.
Come on with
it. So yeah, so that, I think that went like top 20. And so that's how I got my record deal, and that's how I got discovered.
No, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. And look, you were still a baby in a sense. I mean, you were 22, 23, but already singing songs, power pack ballads like Superwoman and, I'd Rather Be Alone, songs that has so much of depth, so much of meaning, so much of emotion into it. And being that young, like, where did you draw all of that inspiration from? Where did you draw all of that emotion from to deliver the way that you did?
Well, let me say something. I have to give it up to my producers and writers, they, especially with songs like Superwoman, and Here Comes the Pain, and, the amazing L.A. Reid and Babyface and Daryl Simmons, who built their whole catalog off of heartbreak.
Come on with it.
Being the champion voice for the women, right? So Babyface, you guys already know what he does. And with me, emotion, I started out, if I'm going to say being discovered, if we're going to take it back, little Karyn White was always, doing pageants, and I was a little promoter. So I would put together groups. I was went to a school in the summer for underprivileged kids where we had to learn acting, singing, voice. So drama. So for me, that's where, you guys know, I bring the drama, right? So emotion is like soul and in church. That's very important to be able to, that's what people love about me too, is that I'm convincing in what I sing. And although I was really young, I hadn't really lived enough life to say I could say what a superwoman was, because a superwoman is like going through some things. I was too young to see really I was a superwoman in training. But I saw I have 4 sisters, single mother at the time. you know, the community, you know, there was a, you know, especially out here in America, a lot of single mothers, and I was their voice. And I really tried to just put, you know, what would my mother, you know, how would she feel raising me? Right. And I'm going to give you another secret weapon. Gladys Knight.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Gladys Knight.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, she's just so soulful, and you know, her and Dionne Warwick, but you know, melody and telling a story, and it's nothing like Gladys. Absolutely. Neither one of us, you know, you just believe every lyric, and that's really kind of my, especially on those type of songs.
Yeah, yeah. So you kind of drew from, you had a lot of people to draw inspiration from and draw emotion from and life experience from.
Right.
Even at that tender age, to just kind of, you know, pack it all in.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Now you mentioned Babyface. Obviously, you've worked with the biggest names in the business. I mean, songwriters, producers, Babyface, L.A. Reid. Obviously, you mentioned Daryl Simmons. You've worked with obviously Jimmy Jam, and of course Terry Lewis. You know, is there any producer and songwriter that you kind of, you know, would have wanted to collaborate with, that you know, like maybe you didn't really get the chance to, or you know, with regards to your schedules and touring and albums and everything else that you were doing, you didn't get the opportunity to work with, that you kind of wish you did?
Oh, there's a lot of people, but I'll say the closest ones because I had the opportunity. Right. So I met, when I came, Prince sent me like roses for when my record Secret Rendezvous, which is a temple hit. He sent me roses. I remember being in Florida. Everybody was jealous of me, and of course I was the woman at that time. I got a big bouquet of roses from Prince, and so that's the person. I went to go see him. So Terry and I were talking on the phone because I was going to do a duet with Michael Jeffries, who was another artist on Warner Brothers, and I did a duet. That's how I met Terry. But I came into town initially to meet with Prince. So I met with Prince. He was working on the Batman soundtrack. And, you know, Prince has his era of music. There's different eras, right? And you're like, I love the pop life era. I love the, you know, the Purple Rain era. So this Batman was, Prince was a little out there. And so he played me some music, and it wasn't quite, it didn't connect to where I was like, oh, I love that song. I could hear myself. But just being in the room with him and having him ask me questions, and, you know, so what did you, I had on these jeans, right? And I had like written on them, you know, it was back in the 90s at the time, love, this tour and this song. I remember him asking me questions about these jeans that I had on. So I had an idea for a song called Ritual of Love. And I called him up and I was like, feel the rhythm pounding to the ritual of love. I said, remember how you did like with Doves Cry? Rhythm pounding to. So he was like, okay. He said, Karyn, I think you're in good hands. You got the best producers over there. He's like, you know, I think you need to work with Jimmy and Terry on that project. Right. And I was so hurt because, I mean, come on, who didn't want to work with Prince, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely.
But so that's my person, one of them. And then, of course, Luther Vandross.
Wow.
You know, I remember him, you know, coming to the studio. He did the Janet Jackson duet, The Best Things in Life for Free. And I really wish that would have been me singing that song with him. But, you know, I love Luther. God, I mean, I could probably name, you know,
so many of them.
You have, you know, Maxwell, so many talented. Misha Paris is incredible. Amy Winehouse. I mean, there's just so many great artists, so many, Lenny Kravitz, Raphael Sadiq, you know.
Well, I suppose with all of that, you just answered, you just kind of answered, you know, my next question, which was going to be, who would have been your dream artist to collaborate with? But, you know, you have a whole catalog of them. You know,
I have a whole catalog. Stokely from Mint Condition. I wish me and Bobby Brown, because we toured together. And it was the perfect tour. You had me, you know, opening up for him, and I was such a fireball, and then he would come on, and so it was kind of like, I wish we would have gotten a chance to do something together. That would have been in Bobby's prime. You guys know how amazing.
Come on, that would have been crazy.
So that would have been fire. But you guys know, you know, I kind of, you know, I took I walked away from the industry for 17 years. So
you did, yeah.
Like I said, I have a lot of regrets of people and things that I wish I would have done, but can't change it. So we just gotta move on, right? And just I'm just thankful that during that hiatus I became a woman, because all I really knew in my life. Yeah, I became a superwoman. You're so right. That's exactly what happened. Because I had such a big life, marrying, Terry Lewis and taking on such a big life. He had children and I was a stepmother and I was young. I was only 24.
And you were also so famous and in the spotlight at such a young age.
Yes. So. And most people don't know this, but I had adopted a son named Brandon Lewis. So Terry and I, so I had, I had a lot of shoes to fill, and I didn't do too good at being, that's why I have I'm in awe to these women who can, be the mother, have the career, have the kids, have the husband and hold it down, because I'm a Libra, so I try to keep my life in balance, but it's hard. I'm very when I'm into something, it's like I'm all in it or nothing. So for me, it was hard to have a husband and a wife, kids, and career.
And everything, absolutely. How
so I remember being in South Africa and the women were like, how could you? You were supposed to be the superwoman. I was like, I'm sorry. You guys held it together. I said, I'm not your superwoman.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not your superwoman. How crazy. Right. All of those years before, they actually kind of wrote a song that was going to be so apt a few years later. Crazy. But speaking of artists from old and whatever, Luther Vandross, Prince, and everybody else that we were chatting about.
Yeah.
There we go. Come on with it.
I had to give that up to Luther.
Yeah. Is there any current artist that you would say that's caught your attention and caught your eye in a big way? Anyone from the current, register of artists that have grabbed your attention?
Oh yeah. I'm a big hip hop lover. Not everyone, but I love J. Cole. I love Earth Gang. I love Kendrick.
Oh yeah.
I love Summer Walker, Janae Akio, Ari Lennox. Yeah, just to name some of the few. And of course, I love my artist, Akbar the Great. Akbar. Yeah. I'm very connected, and I'm so excited because to me it's like I want to be a forever rock star, and to me, I grew up with people like a Tina Turner and a Diana Ross.
Absolutely.
And they're just timeless. Like these are like the rock stars that will never get old, right?
Absolutely.
Shaka, Shaka. I love my love for Shaka too. It's like these artists just never get old. They just get better and better. And it's sad that Michael and Prince, weren't able here to be in that, because those were those type of artists. They would have never gotten they're evergreen, as you guys call them. We're just gonna be rock stars forever, right?
Absolutely. Now, speaking about Brandon, because you mentioned him just now, but Brandon and Ashley Nicole, obviously, a son and a daughter that you and Terry kind of share together, excluding, his other kids in a sense.
Right, my
but with having two parents that were just such, heavyweight musical legends in the industry, was it not something that was tempting enough for them to want to get into the business, like both Brandon and Ashley? Was it not something that ever persuaded them to want to delve into the business itself? Because I know Ashley is a news reporter. Is that correct?
Actually, she's now casting. She went from a news reporter to now she's casting. And doing reality shows, and so I'm so proud of her, because she said, Mom, it was a lot of work having to get up at 3 a.m. and go track these stories and go edit them, and so she loves casting because she gets to be the boss and boss people around, and I totally get that. I'm like, I get you, Ashley. You're just like, she's me and her dad. She's born the same day as her dad.
Wow.
So she wants to be in the business side of music. Of the entertainment industry, which I love, because I think it has, you have more life, and it's not as
absolutely
ruling, and it's hard. It's hard, being an entertainer. In today's world, there's so much competition, right? Everybody, there's so much competition right now.
The internet has opened it all up. You find people on YouTube and Instagram every single day that's trying to do something different.
Amazing people on Instagram and Spotify, and these people sound incredible, right? So it's like, okay, well, what is the separator? you know.
Absolutely.
So for me, you know, with having Supernova, I wouldn't have created this label just to say I'm going to put out artists to do music, because I'm trying to find out where is the money in music, right? It's like, okay, who's buying records, right? We're all streaming. And so, but music, like my ex-husband Terry Lewis says, music sells everything except for itself. So there it is, right? We can sell, you know, fashion, we can sell movies. So, you know, over here at Supernova, we are doing just that. Akbar is auditioning for a leading role and a part in a movie. You know, we're doing our own films and short films, and it just keeps me. I love the grind that I have, you know, having, like I said, a younger artist, and because I can just sit back and you guys, you know, most people don't know that I did real estate. I was an investor, so I would make homes beautiful. I would buy these properties and rehab them.
Flip it around,
before it became popular on HGTV, and I was going to have my reality show, which hopefully I will still have one day. But so you know, I just you know, the entertainment industry, I'm excited, especially now, right? Since we really get to see how much we've missed entertainment, right?
Absolutely.
So being, you know, at home, COVID. So I'm excited to get back out here. I can't wait to get back on stage. Oh my God. I started taking my vocal lessons again, and we're preparing, you know, and it just made me see, because I got a little depressed, Sash, because I realized that, you know, when you're not,
a lot of people did it. That's true.
Yeah, you're not moving in your gift. It's kind of like you feel like, what am I doing?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it was like, am I going to be able to perform again? So you know, things were so unknown. So now I'm starting to feel like, okay, you know, here in Atlanta, I'm not sure about it over there. Are you guys like?
It just got worse, actually. We currently in our third wave, and our president was on TV here 2 days ago, saying that it's now going back to 50 people indoors in terms of gatherings. So no, you know, like major crowds. Outdoors is nothing more than 150 people. So, you know, it's just it's very bad. So we still very much, you know, in the thick of things. We're not out the woods yet, not by a long shot.
Okay, well, you know, like I said, you know, prayers to you guys, and
thank you.
You know, just like you said, thank God we have, you know, the internet, right? You
Absolutely.
know, and we have, you know, we have, you know, we have each other, so everything's gonna be all right.
Yeah, come on, no?
Be all right. You can listen to Carpe Diem. Everything's gonna be all right.
Absolutely. Look, speaking about your entrepreneurial side, you know, a lot of people know, well, a lot of your true fans know, and there's obviously a lot of people who don't know that during your hiatus, you actually, you went a lot into business, interior design, you know, real estate. You've obviously started a record label as well. So you were kind of flexing on people. You were letting them know, you know, who's boss babe over here. Like you were showing them the multifaceted Karyn White. You know, you're the superwoman, you're the businesswoman. You know, you just, you know, you got it all locked down, man.
Look, it's nothing to it's hard work. Look, it ain't for the faint at heart. Trust and believe. There's a lot of sleepless nights of like, are we winning? What are we doing? You know, I need to hire. How do I win? What's going on? You know, so, but of course, you know, I like to, you know, my mother was every bit of a superwoman. She had her own salon at 13 years old from Texas. So she's in me. And I just, you know, there's no way that I'm going to sit here. And like I said, when I heard Akbar's music, because he has a song out called Young Righteous Black Girl. And we have a problem here in the States with the youth and you know, you got social media being such an influence of, am I good enough, or being accepted. And so with this, having him talk about, you know, his black skin and where his people came from, and really embracing that, and not just talking about it in a real cool way, and talking about, I want to marry you. I'm like, what 24-year-old? I can't even know. I don't name one that's talking about marriage. Come on. So I was like, I have to put this out there, because it's moving the culture forward, because I get scared, because we grew up with these amazing songs, Close to You and Stevie Wonder, and just, Journey, and I mean, there's our catalog. What we pull from with our music is the time. What is it? The soundtrack to our lives. And I look at their lives, and I'm like, that's scary. Like, you guys don't even have songs that can grow old with you. You know what I'm trying to say? As they go, I'm like, are you gonna be turned up like at 60, or are you going, or 50? Are you going to want to hear, put in what's her name, Edie Brickle, or you know what I mean? It's just what music can do. It's so healing. So this song, it reminded me of like an Earth, Wind and Fire type of Maurice White used to do his raps. He was like, I remember there was no purpose and no one to love, so Akbar had this soulfulness, and I was like, I loved it. So for me, like I said, I had to do it, even though, it's kind of like you have to invest in the future as well. And that's what I was doing. So I said, I'm diversified. I do my real estate. I also do Supernova. I'm an artist, and I'm just diversified because you have to be in this world we live in, right? There is no one financial stream.
Absolutely. Right? You got to have multiple streams of income, and that's true. And like Drake said, as long as the outcome is income, you know what I mean? So we good.
Oh, that's right. That's right. As long as the outcome is income. That's
look. And speaking about diversifying, you obviously flexed your artistic muscle again and went into acting. You did a movie that received rave reviews from fans and movie critics around the world called Gale in the Storm. For those of your fans that haven't watched it yet, can you just give us a little bit of background and sort of like a synopsis about what the movie is actually about?
Yes. Okay. So Gale in the Storm is about a iconic singer who steps away from the music business.
Sounds familiar?
Yeah, I know. Sounds familiar, because she doesn't want to sing anymore, right? She loses her love for singing, and she hooks up with a revolutionary music producer, and he tries to get her back into the game. And this was so fun to do, loosely based on my life. On my life. Let me say that. But this character was so fun because I kind of like imagine myself being like a Shaka Khan. We took like a 70s era of music. So you'll hear influences like from a Tina Marie, a Shaka Khan, a Curtis Mayfield, Rick James, who else is I Am the Stone, Parliament. I mean, so this is Al Green, all of these like influences on this record. And we shot this film in 7 days.
Wow.
We used 2 college students. So we understood who the new music business was. And what I don't get is we have all these successful actresses and actors out here. I never understood why they're waiting on Hollywood to give them a role.
Yeah.
And I was like, why don't you create your own role? And so that's my way of thinking. And I wouldn't have thought like that before I left the industry. But after I left the industry and came back, I saw it. I'm like, this is beautiful. The internet opened up. You don't need to have, this, big machine behind you. You can do it yourself. And you look at all these YouTubers, and you know how famous they are. They are the real stars. And I'm like, I love them, to me. So that's what we did. We promoted it. We had a premiere, and it was streaming on Amazon as well as Tubi TV. And I was excited about it because I had been taking acting lessons and going out for auditions. And I was on TV. I got a role in a movie. I was on a sitcom called Beauty and the Baller. I think it had 1 season because the gentleman had passed. And I say, bless his heart, Michael Ajagwe, who was the writer. He's an Emmy Award writer. So I was on that. I had a role. And so that's what just inspired me to just do it myself. And I'm going to I love that, because once you feel like you do a movie, do you know how empowering that feels?
Yeah, that's beautiful. And also, it's that bug that bites you, that just wouldn't let you go, right? You just want more and more and more. Like,
yeah, and it made me fearless, because it showed me like it wasn't about the money, because we were able to use 2 award-winning filmmakers that from college, and it gave them an opportunity. And I just love the new frontier that we're in with the internet. And I didn't want to be dated, because sometimes as a legacy artist, we can get stuck. I mean, I'm used to making videos for $300,000, right? Yeah. So for me to do this film for 20,000 or whatever, it would seem crazy for me to even do it. Absolutely. But I had to challenge myself because I'm not Warner Brothers and I don't have $300,000 to do a video, you know? So, exactly. And we all know that we watch these YouTubers that we love, and look, they do it themselves, right? Absolutely. They're building these brands, these artists. It's about your creativity. For sure, 100%, and that's so true. If there's one thing the internet has really brought forward more than anything else, it's creativity, and that's very, very true. It really very has been, you know. Very true. And so, Karyn, down to the last thing. I just want to know, man, with so many things happening in your life, and you got Akbar the Great that you're busy with, and you got obviously the record label and all of your other businesses, and you know, and still more movies that you want to do and everything else. What does the future look like for you? What does the near future look like? Like, what do you have in the pipeline? What are you planning on, you know, delving into or releasing, or you know, what are your plans? You know, in the near future. Right. Well, I'm hoping, you know, like I said, it's a real iffy time in the entertainment industry, but I'm carving my own lane. So what I'm trying to do is build Supernova, you know, one brick by brick. So I got Akbar the Great, who is inspiring Karyn White, who will inspire us. You know, he's a screenwriter as well and a writer. So I'm really gonna focus a lot of my attention into myself as well as Akbar and my foundation. I have a foundation called the Karyn White Foundation. Oh, wow. And right now it's in the States, and I want to really build it to where it's for women entrepreneurs that we can just come together, sisterhood, learn, grow, have financial literacy, you know, teaching and on marketing and business and branding. That would really, I would love to see that happen more in the future for me, just that network and that unity of sisterhood of us just coming together in business and just as super women loving each other. Oh, and that's awesome. Do you know how powerful the connects are going to come from? And I love teaching and grooming, and I love for the youth to teach me. So to me, they're pouring into me, I'm pouring into them. 100%. And hopefully I would love to take this outside of the States. And I gave away grants last year, $500 to women in business who were affected by COVID. This year, I'll probably give away more. Wow. And I'm hoping to open this thing up to where we can come together and do a conference. And so that's really what I'm excited about, between getting back on the road, the foundation, and Supernova and Akbar. That would be incredible. Wow, that's a lot on your plate. But yet again, I mean, you take everything in your stride, and you do it so gracefully and just so powerfully. Also, you know what I mean? Just thank you. Again, the epitome of a superwoman. I don't think there's an artist with a more apt song than that. But wow. Thank you, Karyn White, for your time. You've been incredible. So great catching up with you. Thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule to talk to us. We love you. We can't wait to have you back again. And, you know, I know everything that you're doing is going to turn out amazing, man. Well, thank you so much. You guys know how much I love South Africa. I love my fans. I would do anything for you. You guys know. I mean, when I tell you I love you from the bottom of my heart, I get choked up because you guys love me unconditionally. Absolutely. And you at a time when I was so insecure, you got to think I hadn't been singing in 18 years. So to come back and then to be embraced the way. And sell out arenas. You were selling out arenas. Yeah, to sell out arenas. You don't understand what that did to me. It really gave me the confidence to walk into being all that I am today. So I owe it all to you. I love you guys. And I just want you to just stay safe. And I can't wait to see you guys again. I'm here for you if you need me. Well, we love you too. You know, we always love you. Love you guys. So God bless you, Captain. Thank you so much. God bless you too.